Warriors Unite! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 in the 1% Club. It's daylight. I have a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and do one today. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are on your purpose. Hope you guys continue to conquest as you're conquesting other things, as well as staying with God's purposes and rules. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you guys for your comments. You guys are wonderful. I'm glad that it's helping out. I'm glad, guys, that you guys are using some of the information. I try to be as, honest up front as I can. I'm not doing this for any reason except try to give back to people as I do as teaching and consulting things that I do, more professionally. But this is something that has hit me over the last 3-4 years, and I decided that it's important to put it out there, especially for a lot of people who don't have any kind of other access to information, things like that. So shout outs real fast here. Hope you guys are doing well, as I said, and let's go through a couple of these really fast, and then we'll go ahead and look at this again. So let's look at Alex McCunn. Skip shout outs. I will try to do these real fast if I can. I know, Alex, what you're talking about. I'll try to get into content as soon as I can, but I don't want to also not appreciate you guys. So Adamo Russell, thank you, my friend. Franz S, can women have SR2? Yes, of course. They have it in different ways because of estrogen and things like that, but they do also have it. Hans Munchies FDX RX7, thank you. Harold Mereweather, of course. Harold, how you doing, my friend? Massesmelo, very good, thank you. HvdIV, thank you, my friend. TKO, thank you, guys. GLRYBZGD, sounds like the colors of our spectrum. Thank you, my friend. Nevilledawadaware, thank you. Stuartwagner, these are challenging, my friend. Jon the Dawn, thank you, my friend. Rpos, Wayne Moore, and Rig552. Thank you guys for all your comments. I really appreciate those. I think that that's what makes it worthwhile to me to see that some of you guys are taking some of the information that I have and want to apply it and use it and having some success with it, which I like. I'm still at the point where I'm trying to get streamings and other types of things. I just don't have the time, to be honest with you, right now with all the things going on. But I will try to get to you because it's something I want to continue doing long term, because I think it's important for younger generations, especially with a lot of people who don't have male figures, to try to at least give some perspective, from my opinion, about things going on. All right, so comment today. This is our topic. SR9207, thank you, my friend. We're going to do what to do on weekends on retention. Now, this is an interesting one, because I think we're at the weekend now. This is Saturday. And the thing is that we need to go ahead and look at a plan. It's very important to have a plan. I think certainly what I've learned over the last 3 years with retention, which now I think I'm over 1,200 days, something like that, is the fact that you have to have a plan and goals in anything you do. I had them, a lot of them, in business and different things like that. But Warriors, I never had them when it really came down to things like weight, working out. I had some workout plans, of course, but not to the point where it was really something that I really kind of took that seriously. I didn't understand the mechanisms of how to do things, and I think certainly I never had a plan with semen retention that really worked until I was 59 years old or something like that. And so over the last 3 years, it's now been effective. So this has taught me the level of self-control I never had, which I really am grateful to God for, to enlighten me and giving me this opportunity to continue to grow the way I'm going right now, because I feel unbelievable. And I've lost, I went down, I don't check my weight, but I checked it the other day, or yesterday, and it was 211. I was at 250 at one point, so it's tremendous to lose this much weight. But I'm doing it because of a plan. I have the Lose It type app, and I have the, the treadmill that I'm walking at least 800 or 1,000 calories. I go to about 25,000 steps, 30,000, something like that a day. And so every day I've been in a deficiency of calories, which is about 70 days, something like that. So, when you start getting to the point of 60, 70 days, having less calories, you have less calories taken in than going out, you're going to lose some weight. And hopefully, with all the small weight training and things that I'm doing, I'm building muscles and trying to get that six-pack of abs that I've always wanted to have. All right, so anyway, back to the weekend thing, and this is part of the weekend thing. It must have a plan. The plan has to be really kind of, strong in your mind. There are times that you're going to have some free time, and you've got to make sure that you fill it up with part of your goals and things you want. There's nothing wrong with enjoyment, but once again, one of the reasons why people fall off the streaks, especially on the weekends, is because they're not working, and now they have kind of idle time to sit and think about this, and they see something on television, they see something on the internet, and all of a sudden now there they go. And so now you're about ready to lose information and things like that as you go through. So the thing what you got to do is you got to have a plan all the way through to be able to say, okay, I know what I want to do on Saturday. I know what I'm going to do on Sunday. Now, this takes a little bit of planning and ideas, because what you really want to do is think to yourself, okay, I want to stay on my plan. Whether you're talking about, and I'm just talking about from the physical standpoint right now, when you're talking about losing weight, exercising, retention, those things. Once you start controlling this more, you're able then to put a plan together and saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Now, of course, if you have a wife and family, kids, there's a lot of other things that play into it. But the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to go ahead and spend idle time, and that's when you get in trouble. And I've had that happen many, many times in the past, where you're sitting there and all of a sudden you're going to relax a little bit, and this is when you tend to have problems and temptation and things like that. And so if you keep yourself busy to the point where you're always going to go ahead and have things, goals ahead of you, things you want to do, that to me is what a human being should be. A goal operating machine is just going to continue to achieve goals, and that's what makes that person happy. It's also going to make God happy, because you're following God's purposes and what God wants. And those type of things are important to look at, because those are the things that, that's the reason why we're here. And I think certainly the more we recognize that, the more we can actually fill into it. But you can't do that unless you're physically, spiritually, and mentally, in tune. And I think this is how you get that point. So, open a Bible, pray to your Creator, work out, have a plan that you're going to do, beyond the errands you're running. And obviously, it's almost impossible. Now, I suppose you could try to do it, but it's almost impossible to go ahead and release energy if you're out in public doing things. I mean, that's that's pretty comical if that does happen. But the bottom line is that most times what ends up happening is that people get stuck in their room, or they get stuck in somewhere where they can actually have private, and now they end up looking at pictures and things like that. So what you really want to do is you really want to kind of set to yourself, okay, this is the goals I'm going to have today. This is what I'm going to achieve. This is what I want to do. I want to go, even if you're just going to a store, even if you're going to visit something, take a trip somewhere, it's better than sitting at home watching TV or watching the internet and things like that. And I have nothing wrong with watching a show once in a while, but just remember that there's a lot of temptation in those shows. I mean, the marketing and advertising system we have nowadays, in our society with the, I call it the matrix, the blue matrix. I mean, you're talking about temptation galore. All you got to do is look at commercials, and you're talking about, it. You're looking at commercials, and you see that the commercials are focusing on sex, and they're focusing on money and drugs and all this kind of drinking and things like that, all in the name of having fun. But in having fun, you're being tempted to no end. And there's no reason why you can't have fun with God. And in fact, the most enjoyment and joy I have now is not doing any of those things. And I don't really drank. I drank a couple times over my life, pretty hard, but that was a long time ago. And I don't do any drugs and never smoked. So, I mean, it's really a case of a lot of the stuff that I'm doing was more of the images and things like that years ago. And so we all have our vices and things that we have to learn to control. But if you do it as a general pattern and say, okay, these are the days I'm focusing on retention, I'm going to continue doing this my whole life. Now it becomes a lifestyle change. And now you're able to go ahead and say, okay, this is a weekend coming up. I have things that I need to do to enhance myself. Whether you're working on the house, if you have a house, if you're working on a hobby, if you're working on your work coming Monday, whether you're working on your relationships. I mean, and obviously women, in my mind, those things come after everything else. So, of course, if you're married, it's a little different type of situation. It's a little higher priority, of course. But when it comes to girls and things like that, if you're not dating anybody and you're on your own right now and you're basically just going ahead and bettering yourself, that's wonderful. Then you have lots of those things to do. There's lots of things out there to do. But again, the key thing, and this goes back to some stoic behavior we're talking about, is you have to be able to live by yourself. Oh, I should say that. You need to be able to be happy if you have to live by yourself. If you can live with yourself, then you can live with anybody you want. You can be with anybody you want. In fact, those are the types of people who get along really well with other people. Those are the people who understand, but they have accepted themselves. They've learned how to control themselves, and now they're able then to go ahead and work with others and be with others. But they're not grafted to those people. Once you start getting in desperate mode and you're grafted to people, those people then become your masters. And the devil is your master. The temptation is your master. Once you take control of that and you can walk away, like I used to be a negotiator for years ago, and if you can walk away from a negotiation, you've won the negotiation. But many people can't walk away. They can't walk away from addictions. They can't walk away from bad relationships. They can't walk away. For whatever reason, they have this mentality they don't want to give up, but they're taking a lot of physical, mental abuse along the way. And so what you have to do is kind of think to yourself, okay, I'm a stoic person. I don't need to be with people. I choose to be with people. That's different. And you can choose to be a woman, but you don't have to. And so you can get a lot of enjoyment, and God is with you. Always remember, God is with you. No matter where you go, God is with you. So you don't necessarily need other people. Now, this is something that took me, and I'm 62, warriors, so I'm kind of telling you this from a lot of bad experiences. You don't need other people. Unless you give a you know what about other people, what they think about you, the better off you're going to be. But now I'm talking from 62 years of experience in life. So I'm kind of telling you that at this point in life, I don't care. And so this is why I'm doing videos and do a lot of other things that I would not have done when I was 20, 30 years old. But that's because I was in this blue matrix talking about, well, you should think and care about other people and all that kind of stuff. And, worry about what other people think of you and all that other kind of nonsense, getting attention and validation, all that stuff. A high value male does not need a validation. And you don't need validation, warriors. You just need to go and do the things you're doing. And some people like you, some people don't. But you don't need to bother with that. Just do your own thing and you're moving on. So the weekend is something we need to kind of think about using to our advantage. So warriors, we use to our advantage, just put some goals up there. Look at trying to get more retention, of course, as your number one goal when it comes to this. Obviously, well, the number one goal is praying and being meditating and all those things you're doing with your Creator and God. But obviously, when it comes to retention, the number one thing is retention. After that, you're talking about setting up physical goals, mental goals, spiritual goals, and reading and getting that set up so that now you're able to focus on things to do. So you got to keep yourself busy on those weekends, so you're able not to think about the images. And especially if you're a yo-yo like I was for 47 years, going back and forth, releasing, not releasing, things like that. Now you have to kind of really make an effort to really concentrate and say, okay, I am going to focus on getting my mind away from all that and focusing on getting things done. And you'll be surprised, once you get in the habit of getting things done, you don't really think about that much. It will pop up every so often, especially if you see a good-looking girl or something like that going around. But the idea is that you really want to kind of focus on strengthening yourself, and that goals, those things will keep your mind away from other things. We talk about this in physics all the time. The mind cannot think about two things simultaneously. That means you're either thinking about semen retention or you're thinking about releasing. One of the two. And the thing is that the more active you become in getting things done, the less you think about releasing. And the more you're really concentrating on succeeding and getting things done. All right, my friends. Well, thank you, SR. I appreciate that, my friend. Great concept and perception there. And I'm going to leave you guys. I'll try to do one if I can tomorrow. But until then, guys, I'm going to leave you with 2 comments. One, as always, every day, like today, is a new day to a great warrior. And number two, guys, we have to always remember, no matter where we're at, no matter who we're with, we have to continue to always recognize that Satan is around the corner. Never let up. Even if you've won the battle, you think, never let up, because you've got to continue to battle on!